The 7th week of 2025 has been a big one in Greater Brisbane, and if you want to stay in the loop, clicking on this video was a good call. So let's get to it. The Brisbane Channel has had a lot of updates about the state government's 100-day games review, and the date that the review's conclusions will be revealed to the public has been announced. The review received over 5,000 submissions from public and private entities, as well as individuals. The panel will release their report to the state government on the 8th of March, who will then liaise with the IOC and the federal government, as well as other key stakeholders, before signing everything off on March 24th. It'll then be announced publicly on the 25th of March. While most of the talk around the review has been about stadia, sporting venues and athletes' villages, one of the main motivations of local councils for applying to host the Olympics in the first place was to improve other infrastructure, particularly transport infrastructure. State Premier David Crisafulli has indicated that the review would also help deliver legacy transport infrastructure for the southeast Queensland region. And that's a good thing, if it happens, as a state government transport strategy recently being made public through right to information laws says there's a need to get creative in finding transport solutions as the population continues to grow. The Brisbane Channel does have a video planned diving into predictions for how population change will affect life in Brisbane into the future. So you know the drill, make sure you're subscribed and have hit the bell so you don't miss it. But back to the update, and the draft strategy highlights the potential for increasingly congested roads and packed public transport if those creative solutions are not found. Some of the options indicated include improving coordination of services and connections. Some viewers of the Brisbane Channel have pointed out the fact that we have bus routes running alongside rail routes, so service is being duplicated, while other areas are public transport deserts. As mentioned in the Brisbane Channel's video on traffic congestion, 2 out of every 3 people in Greater Brisbane doesn't have access to frequent, reliable public transport. Other suggestions include extending Brisbane City Council's metro bus network, adding more priority bus lanes, and increasing park and ride facilities that allow people to park at key train stations. When the document is released and the Brisbane Channel can cite it directly, rather than relying on third-party reports, I'll let you know more. But it's not just congestion we need to deal with here in Brisbane. With parts of the city built on a floodplain, floodproofing new developments has become a priority. Increased supply of housing is desperately needed if we want to see property and rental prices become more affordable, but areas close to the city which are being prioritised for medium and high density housing developments are often in areas that see the worst flooding. But Brisbane developers are learning from past floods, such as those in 2011 and 2022, and starting to do things differently. Brisbane City Council has 10,000 new homes planned for the area around West End, where the lowest streets saw flood levels of 6.8 metres in the 2022 floods. We've covered quite a few developments planned for the area here on the channel, and developers are becoming much more flood smart. For example, the 350-storey buildings proposed by Urbis on the banks of the Brisbane River will see 370 units located above flood levels, with lower levels populated by retail outlets who can pull everything out before flooding occurs and then return, hose everything down and get back to business once the water has receded. I'm sure there'll be comments about how unrealistic that actually is, but that's the way developers are talking. There are some very practical changes being implemented, including moving power outlets higher in the lower levels and moving transformers and substations as well as air conditioning units onto the roof. Installation of floodgates, bunds and pumps is also increasingly becoming an integral part of development plans. But local governments are focusing on developing a range of areas, increasing not only the number of homes but also maximising employment opportunities and services. In Brisbane City, one such project is the Suburban Renewal Precincts program, which takes underused commercial and industrial areas with good access to public transport and converts them into mixed-use precincts with attached homes. This week, Brisbane City Council announced that an area of Mount Gravatt along Logan Road has been selected as the 3rd Suburban Renewal Precinct for Brisbane City. A draft of the plan will be released for community consultation in the coming months, so stay tuned to the Brisbane Channel as we'll let you know as soon as it's out. If you find these updates helpful, you can say thanks by buying me a coffee, or you can become a channel member, which will get you early access to the videos ad-free, along with some great perks. If you're not in a position to support the channel financially, you can still show your support by giving the update a thumbs up. That tells YouTube it's worth showing to more people. Moreton Bay is looking to revitalise Arana Hills by developing a new civic centre in the suburb. They've put out a request for proposals for a mixed-use community project at 303 Dawson's Parade that should include a library, PCYC and a community centre. The aim of the council is to develop an area that balances essential services with economic and social benefits. Back in Brisbane City, and last week's update mentioned Brisbane bus drivers protesting for a higher pay rise by wearing plain clothes. Last week they held a short strike between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. on a Thursday. Brisbane City Council said that this affected fewer than 100 trips as non-union drivers were engaged to take on some of the routes. Talks have not resulted in an offer the union is happy with, so they are now planning a strike this coming Wednesday in afternoon peak time. From 4 p.m. to 6 p.m, bus drivers that are union members will not be behind the wheel of any of Brisbane's buses. They say that school routes will not be affected, however. It's probably a good time to mention the sponsor of this video, YB Painting Services. They would have to be one of Brisbane's most professional providers of painting services. Their meticulous attention to detail is impressive, and with fixed pricing and a 5-year warranty on all their work, you can be sure there'll be no unpleasant surprises. If you're thinking of having some painting work done, you'll get a 10% discount as a viewer of the Brisbane channel. Just scan this QR code or click the link in the video description. We've been following the plight of the Queen's Wharf district as Star Entertainment circles the drain, and this week Star revealed that it has received an offer of a $650 million loan from American company Oaktree Capital Management, which deals with what is referred to as distressed debt. This involves acquiring assets at bargain prices and then restructuring and restoring companies to financial viability. Well, that's how Oaktree describe it, but some refer to such business practices as vulture investment. Whatever happens, the Brisbane channel will keep you across the developments. While the future of Brisbane's newest entertainment precinct is in doubt, over in Logan and the city's first ever nightclub has opened. Now, I found it hard to believe that Logan didn't have a single nightclub before this, so I did some searching and all I could find was one place, and that turned out to be a swingers club. So if you can provide any information that disproves that Logan has just opened its only nightclub, do let me know in the comments. This place, called Club Noir, which kind of sounds like a swingers club itself, first opened as a nightclub on the 20th of February. The venue, located in Loganholme, has operated as a private function space for hire for the last 2 years, but from last Thursday they'll hold an 18-plus DJ night every Thursday. The liquor license will allow them to serve patrons until midnight and potentially beyond. Stuart Fleming, the owner of the club, hopes that it will be the start of an emerging nightlife scene in Logan. They'll also be launching an over-30s live music night on Fridays starting sometime in March. We've seen in previous updates on the Brisbane channel that Logan City Council is trying to kickstart a nightlife economy, so Club Noir may be the start of something exciting for the city. Greater Brisbane does have a reputation for going to sleep early, but it does seem there's the stirrings of change across the 5 LGAs, so let me know if you'd like me to do some digging and see what may lie ahead for Brisbane after dark and put that into a video. Another much anticipated venue also opened on Thursday. The restaurant on the Kangaroo Point Bridge, Stilts, opened its doors to diners for the first time. Here's a glimpse of their menu for you to decide if it's the kind of place you'd like to make a reservation for or not. It's certainly aimed at a specific demographic. Just be aware that, like Mulga Bill's Cafe, also owned by the same operator, Tassis Group, there is a 10% surcharge on weekends and 20% on public holidays. Over to the Bayside suburbs, and Redland City Council's Community Grants Program will start taking applications for the next round on the 24th of February. The grants of up to $10,000 are available for local community organisations and individuals and are offered for community development, cultural heritage, environment, and sport and recreation. Here's the details for the 3 categories of grant so you can see if you or your organisation is eligible. The next updates are related to our non-human population. Firstly, snakes. If you're one of the snakes that watch the Brisbane Channel, beware, as you may have humans invading your personal space. In the last week, 15 people have been treated for snake bites in Queensland, with 7 needing to be hospitalised. One man in his 30s in Morayfield was bitten on the ankle and rushed to Caboolture Hospital in a life-threatening condition. If you're a fire ant, please unsubscribe from the channel, pack your bags, and jump on the next boat out of here. The Brisbane Channel is usually welcoming when someone wants to move to Brisbane, but fire ants, you will never be welcome. If fire ants continue to spread, they pose a significant threat to Queenslanders, as we've covered in previous update videos. But unfortunately, fire ant eradication efforts are now being hampered by people who have fallen for conspiracy theories around the negative effects of fire ant treatment, including that they cause the paralysis syndrome that has been striking down lorikeet and flying fox populations. While the cause of lorikeet and bat paralysis syndrome are still unknown, according to the Invasive Species Council, there is no evidence of any link between fire ant treatments and the syndrome, and the location of paralysis incidents don't overlap with the localities of fire ant treatments. The treatments have also been tested and proven safe for humans, dogs, and cats, so your pets are safe as well. Despite this, not only are some people refusing treatment on their properties, but are threatening program staff, both in person and online. There's even been death threats. Earlier in this video, we talked about strategies to combat road congestion. According to Queensland's peak motoring body RACQ, improving active transport can help with the situation. To find out why they think so, along with other advocates, check out this video. I'll see you there or in the next video.